Hey guys, LechK here with my 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace your spark plugs, as well as coil boots on 14 through 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee 3.6 engine. Basically, we have to remove the air intake system, and we're going to have to remove your top air intake manifold to get to the 3 plugs that are under here. These 3 are here, accessible easily. So I'm going to show you guys how to remove all that. We're going with LechK plugs. These are already pre-gapped, meaning that the spacing here is already set to the OEM standards this car requires. If your car is not, you want to get yourself a little gauge. Might do a separate video how to gap plugs if needed. You're also going to need some dielectric grease, but we are not putting that on the spark plug. I want to mention that right now if I forget later, because that will mess up your torque settings and it's not required. Most plugs are already pre-coated with whatever's needed to install them correctly. But we are going to need some of that grease on the boots, which is just a little bit. First, let me show you guys how to remove the air intake and the manifold, and then we can install the plugs. All right guys, you got your upper manifold off. Now we can replace our spark plug. First, we're gonna disconnect this from the coil. These are broken here, but basically there's little tabs here, and all you gotta do is push down on this little tab here, and then it slides out. So these we're gonna have to reconnect, glue or something, but 10 millimeter. Okay, now this should just pull out. There we go. I'm going to be replacing these, but first let me show you the spark plug. So you're going to need an extension, a 5/8 socket bit with a little rubber boot inside so you can grab it. Okay. Plug. Show you guys a close up. Oh yeah, this thing's gotta go. New one and an old one. Just get you guys a clear shot. Look at the difference here. Here on the top. So definitely a little upgrade we're doing here. So now we're just putting it back. Tip with that. People talk about putting dielectric grease on your spark plugs. You do not do that. These are all modern plugs. They're already coated with whatever needs to be coated, and you don't want to add any dielectric grease, because especially if you're torquing this to spec, this will affect your torque specs. So don't use it. We are going to use that on the boot itself. Get our plug popped in. So when I drop it in here, first I'm going to reverse it to make sure my threads line up, and then start screwing it in. And it should go pretty smoothly, so you gotta use a wrench. First now. Okay, I've got it tight. So now we're gonna torque it to 13 foot-pounds. At least that's the specs I found. But basically, just go snug. Don't overdo it if you don't have a torque wrench. And that's really it. I'm good. Yep, that's it. 13. And you don't want to go too tight with an extension, because when you torque an extension, actually affects the torque settings too. That's really it for the spark plugs. You are done. You're doing that for all 6. If you're changing the boot, let's move on. Got a new boot here, new spring. Let's open this up. So this is the part we are going to be using dielectric grease, and all we're gonna, and you can put a thin layer of grease right in here just to have a nice clean connection. And that's about all you're going to use this using spark plugs. So let's get our old boot. It should just pop right out like that. You gotta make sure everything's good in there. See the spring in here already. Oops, nice. Hold one. So we're gonna pop a spring in. It looks to be the same on both ends. So we're just gonna pop it in there, just like that. Make sure, although you bought it at the spec, that this matches up. Looks good. Pop that right on in here. Same way. Now we'll get a little bit of a grease. And you're not gonna go heavy. Just gonna put a little bit of on my finger. Pop it in here. Move it around in there. And then remove the excess. And that's really it. Now you just pop it back in. That's the whole process, guys. Pop this back up. Nice snug tight, or you can tighten it to like about 8 foot-pounds. Okay, plug this back up, and you are done with a complete spark plug and boot change. Do this for all 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you guys noticed a little color change here, because since I removed my upper manifold, I was doing the plugs, but I'm also was replacing the oil cooler and oil filter and cooler housing because it was leaking. I upgraded to an aluminum one. The whole video on that, check it out. I recommend replacing the gaskets when you're removing the manifold. But do all your plugs and you are all set, guys. So just finishing up this side, and then we can start reassembly of the upper manifold.